Welcome to Small Aid. Some time ago, I made this. These were earrings for my wife. As you can see, it's coming apart really easily. Uh, One fell, and I'm not really happy with that. So we have to replace it. Now my intention, and I was so excited by making these. So my intention was to grind off the edge here, which is really smooth because it was ground really smooth. This is a brilliant cut. This is how it's called. Right, so I've been looking for quite some time for a replacement for these, and I found a couple of lovely, slightly bigger topaz brilliant cut pair. And as you can see, these are really nice. I really like the color and so on. They do have two things that the original pair didn't have. First of all, it's a matter of size and color. But the main thing is that they're drilled. There's a hole going through. If I could find something thin enough to go through there, I'm not sure I have any wire that's that, thin. But let me check that. This one I actually successfully threaded. I don't know if you can see this, but I'm suspending it and I can move it as well. So this is nice. Clumsy big hands, that's the problem mainly around here. Right, so what I want to do is to clean these, re-drill these by hand, clean them up, use a far better glue, and glue them up back in. So I'm thinking it's going to look something like that. It's going to be pretty nice, pretty big too. And this is a PCB. If you don't know what it is, this is a PCB carbide drill set. Now this is not exactly what you call expensive on one hand. On the other hand, it's pure carbide, so really nice high quality metal. And this ranges from 0.6 to 1.5, and you got finer ones too. Well, just like before, I scratched this on the inside, of course, not the out. This is a 5-minute epoxy, so I don't want to play with that. Although it will take a full night to cure. So if you don't know that, a 5-minute epoxy binds after 5 minutes, but to get it to cure properly, you need a full night. Now, excuse me when I do that. There we go. Got this cavity filled, and I'm going to just wait a second. What I want to do also is I want to fill this cavity. So I'm pushing resin inside and looking to see if there's resin coming out the other end. So I'm sorry, and I know you guys can't see much. I'll try to enhance the image as best as I can, but that's what I got with my current equipment. And now we're going to combine these. I know what you're thinking. Hey, we've been through that stuff. We already drilled it. There's a hole there. there's a cavity for the gem. What are you doing? Well, apparently holding a gem just like that, as you just seen me do, is not easy for 5 minutes, and then the human hand errs. So, if a human hand can do that, a machine hand must be able to do that. Well, yeah, that's my answer too. So what I'm doing is basically I'm connecting it in the proper way. I'm basically holding this in the chuck, and the chuck is not moving because the machine is not even powered. So we're centered on the chuck, and just by manual force, nothing more. And then we're going to put a gem there, just like so, and hold it with the chuck. And that's my solution to hold it for 5 minutes, because I can't do that. So I can glue this bucko and get back here in an hour. And this will also allow me to clean things up properly, because you really want to clean the resin, the extra resin. Right. So on we go. I'm going to make a second batch of glue. And basically speaking, I want it down and in there. Taking a small amount of resin and just pushing it inside. That, like so. I'm also applying here a tiny amount of resin, making sure I've covered the holes. Now these have already been filled with resin from the last time, so I don't have to use much. It's a tiny dab. I can barely see that with my magnification. Right, even that's too much. I'm taking some off. There we go. And we're going to put it there. Right. Perfect. Enters the machine. I'm going to lock the tailstock and apply a little bit of force there by the tailstock. And then I'm going to check it from several angles. If it looks straight, I'm going to leave it like that. And this paper here is in case it drips. Well, looking at it from the bottom, meaning at a flat level, it looks nice. Over here it looks nice. I'm playing with it. I just want to make sure it's a little bit of pressure. And we got one to go. Right. Now we got a small problem there. We need to clean it up. And what I can do now is I can very carefully wet this with ethanol. On the other side. Run it through so I won't have any loose fibers just between my fingers. And very gently, as the lathe holds it, I can wipe off the excess. Something I wasn't able to do because I'm human. I got 2 hands, not 3, sadly. Alright, we're getting there. It's clean, it's being held by the lathe. I find it really amusing because it's a gem embedding machine now. Seriously, it's funny, but I'm just enjoying myself here, and really it's gonna bind really well, and I'm really looking at it and I can't see any flaws. It's just wonderful. Applying a little bit more pressure, and I mean a little bit, just a hair movement on the dial. I can't show you the dial, but, and this is holding. Wonderful. Okay. And you know when you're in a hurry and you need to get stuff done really really fast and you don't have the time for it. Those 5 minute epoxy, 5 minutes pass like that, and when you have the time and you're holding something and you need the glue to cure and you're like, come on man, get it over with, and it's not hardening in any way or it's hardening so slowly you're gonna get it done. Right. So enough chit chat. I'm going to leave it in the lathe for about an hour. I'll come back. We'll take a second look at that. And I really hope we're going to make it. If not, it's going to get really hard to get it off. So I just hope I'm right. Pardon the background noise. It's unbreathable here with the resin odor. Really horrible. Let's release. Right, so already we're bound. And you can get the aluminum thingy off. Didn't apply any pressure, so you can reuse that. And we have an absolute gem. It looks nice and roughly centered. I wouldn't say absolutely centered, but this is hand cut, so hey, I'm pleased. This is going to be really nice. Right, so one gem done. So there goes our earrings. Really nice. I'm pretty happy with these. This one is the first one we did. It's fairly concentric. Has a light angle to it, about 5 degrees, something like that, 10 degrees. This one, slightly deeper color, has a bigger kink. Now, the reason these are a bit angled and not centered, the lathe was centered, is that I relied on the center of the edge here, the tip, that I glued in to be concentric with the rest of the gem, basically speaking. So they're not. They're hand cut. There goes. They're not really really perfect. They're really lovely, but perfect they're not. They're not machine made. So I'm pretty pleased. My wife doesn't mind. I asked her. And I chose to ask her before I take it apart using some really violent means because there are very few solvents that dissolve epoxy once hardened. And the ones that do dissolve epoxy are, well, not exactly something you're going to hold in your shop. It's really carcinogenic and nasty. And I don't have any. So the other way to break apart the epoxy binding to its whatever you bound to it is to heat it up, and this may crack the gem. So I decided not to do that. She likes it as is. She doesn't mind the angle. She doesn't really see the angle when they're on her. So she's really really happy with these, and that's, you know what, that's the bottom line. And these fit in this one, and so I'm really really happy she found these useful. She loved these. They have a new, well, olive wood home. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I really enjoyed making these. Really short, elegant, not so complex. I do have another set of more lightly colored brillet gems. I'm thinking of combining brass, copper, and stainless as a sort of a holder, just like this one. It's going to be a bit bigger because those gems are a bit bigger than those. And in the meantime, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and have a sweet day.